Hello YouTube, it's Ryan here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today we are doing another manga review. Today we are going to be reviewing Dr. Stone. This is kind of the third saga of Dr. Stone. It's called The Source of Petrification Saga, and its chapters 83 to 138. And it's super badass. I really liked it. So the author here, of course, is Riichiro Inagaki, and the illustrator is Boichi. Although for some reason it looks like Boichi always gets a lot more love than the author, and it's like it kind of sucks because the author is the one that's doing all of the kind of storytelling aspects, right? So I mean, good art isn't necessarily just the only thing that makes a manga good, but of course having Boichi there to kind of give that really awesome art to this kind of story is maybe partially the reason why so many people like it. I don't know, but it always is weird when I see Boichi gets a lot of attention for Dr. Stone and then the actual author doesn't. But I mean, whatever, I guess, I don't know. So it's published by Viz. I read it on the Shonen Jump app. I don't know, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw me like last week just going ham on showing panels of Boichi's artwork in Dr. Stone, and it was so amazing. I really like it. So yeah, the demographic here is obviously shonen if it's on the Shonen Jump magazine. And the genres are adventure, post-apocalyptic, and sci-fi. And the sci-fi aspect here is not necessarily in the standard kind of like go to space, meet aliens kind of science fiction, but rather more in the fact that science plays a lot of kind of importance in this kind of story. And the science isn't exactly like accurate to real life. I mean, a lot of it is kind of based on real life kind of scientific method and scientific thought, but it's played around a bit to make it a lot more kind of fun and compelling, and also kind of a lot easier to understand, right? So the science, although is based on actual scientific kind of knowledge, is a little bit kind of sci-fied to make it easier, yeah. And in terms of adaptation, this series does have an adaptation, but I think the series only went up to the end of Stone Wars, and the Source of the Petrification Saga has not been animated yet. I don't know if it will be. I don't know how anime kind of works, when they decide to animate certain things and when they don't. But yeah, so you can watch up to the second saga. So yeah, and in terms of the premise here, basically Tsukasa has been severely injured at the end of the Stone Wars, and now Senku is like, we gotta save him, and the only way that I can think of to save him is to petrify him and then kind of revive him in order to get rid of all of the kind of difficulties that he would have, right? Which is the way that Senku was revived originally in the very first saga of Dr. Stone, right? So Senku has to go out and explore into the world and figure out where this petrification came from. And he ropes in the Kingdom of Science into helping him do this, and there's a new and larger adventure awaiting, right? And I actually really, really like this saga. I think it's the best Dr. Stone saga so far. We get to see a whole bunch of new characters show up. We get to see a lot of interesting world building and developing, and kind of get to see Senku and the Kingdom of Science really work together way more kind of like often or more awesomely. I don't know how to describe it. We just get to see them work together a lot more, and I really, really loved it. I thought it was really fun. So yeah, the plotline here is really good, top tier. The Kingdom of Science enters this kind of age of exploration, right? They kind of set sail on the ocean blue, and in order to do that, they have to do a bunch of other stuff first, right? So we get to see Senku out here scouting all of the people that live on the island, trying to figure out who is good and who can join him on this adventure. And then they go and find some other kind of ancient people from Senku's time to kind of revitalize in order to kind of help them out. And you know, they set sail and they move on to this new island that houses some amazing treasure that Senku had been needing, that we kind of got to see mentioned early on in the story when Senku asks about his dad to Ruri, I think it was. Yeah, Ruri, I think, was the one that told him about Byakuya. So yeah, I mean, after that, the plot thickens. There's this kind of reason why petrification is happening, why it continues to happen, and the appearance of the Y Man really is like the big plot line aspect. And I'm not gonna say too much about who the Y Man is because it's a big spoiler, but it's very, very interesting. I really liked it. I thought the plot line here was really, really wonderful. It kind of upped the kind of the stakes a lot more. I mean, the stakes were immensely high already, right? Because the world is at stake here. But just kind of adding this antagonistic force that no one knows anything about was really, really good and really interesting. And it kind of makes Senku have this very important kind of adversary beyond just nature, right? So it's very, very interesting. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really, really well done. So yeah, let's get into the characters here. So there's a lot of new ones. Ryusui Nanami is the main kind of interesting character this time. He's the son of a kind of very large corporate kind of company, and he was a sailor, and he was really interested in kind of boats and sailing the world and stuff like that. And he gets revived in order to kind of help them out. And he ends up being like an immensely meaningful and good character for the series and for the Kingdom of Science. And I really like him. Initially, he kind of has this antagonistic vibe to him, right? But eventually, and actually quite quickly, he becomes an integral part of Senku's like kingdom and of Senku's people, and one of the smarter and more important kind of people for this organization, right, or this kingdom. So I actually really like him. I think he's a really fun character. He has some weird things to him, right? But he's such an amazing and very fun character. I really like him. So he's probably one of my favorite new characters. I like that a lot. And alongside Ryusui, Francois is also another character that shows up. They happen to be Ryusui's butler, and I like them a lot too. I really enjoy the kind of side of them that kind of shows all of the Kingdom of Science people, like food that they have never seen before, like bread. I thought it was amazing to see people that had never seen or tasted bread suddenly, have it, and I thought it was really, really cool. But Francois is a kind of interesting character as well. They're kind of very mysterious, but they're also very dependable, and I like that a lot. And then when we get to the new island, there's a lot of new characters that show up. Basically, it turns out that, everyone that lives on Ishigami Village is only a small splinter cell of all the people that lived on the island where Byakuya landed, right? Because if you've read Reboot and you've read the first two sagas of Dr.Stone, you would know that where they landed when Byakuya came back to Earth isn't exactly where Ishigami Village was located. So obviously there had to be people that moved there eventually, right? So it turns out that yes, and Ishigami Village is kind of a splinter cell of the larger village that lived over at wherever it is that Byakuya landed, right? So we get to see there's a lot of people there, and they seem to be slightly different from everyone at Ishigami Village. Like, everyone at Ishigami Village is very clearly like descendants of Byakuya and all of the people around him. But the people at the other place don't really seem like that, and I don't know if that's for a specific reason or not. We haven't really found out anything, but they do definitely look different. And of course, this is probably an artistic choice from Boichi in order to distinguish like Ishigami villagers from whatever the other people are, even though they're the kind of like from the same kind of crop, I guess, of people. He has to make them look different so you guys can tell them apart, right? And we get to see a lot of interesting characters from there. We get to see Masu, I guess, who is this kind of very badass barbarian man. He's kind of like Tsukasa, but much much tougher. And I thought he was really interesting, very badass kind of bad guy character. And besides him, we have this guy called Ibarra, who happens to be this very kind of menacing, kind of like administrator, Machiavellian kind of guy. And I thought he was really interesting as well. I really loved all of the artwork that Boichi did for him because he made him seem so sinister, and I thought it was really, really good. And of course, we have some other kind of interesting characters here. We have the one female character that was kind of like an equivalent to Moso. I think her name is Kisame, or Kishisame, something like that. She's really interesting as well. I really like her design, although she kind of walks around in a very kind of sheer outfit, and I thought it was really weird. It's not really noticeable until like you like see it, and you're like, oh, this is odd. Why would you walk around like that on a kind of like island situation? But I think she's a really interesting character. I'm really looking forward to seeing how she kind of becomes interesting and kind of important to the Kingdom of Science going forward. So yeah, in terms of world building, I think it's pretty great. The new island and the exploration kind of situation of Japan is very, very interesting. It kind of provides Senku and the Kingdom of Science with a lot of new resources, but it also shows us, you know, a lot more about the world that's happening that we couldn't really see before. And I thought that was really, really good. I like that a lot. And yeah, a lot of interesting science stuff that's developed. We get to see the development of cameras, of boats, of sailing ships, of you know, revolvers, essentially. A lot of interesting stuff that it's just really, really cool. I don't know, like, I just find it super awesome how Inagaki and Boichi and the guy that does the science, I think his name is Kurare, I think it's really interesting how all three of them can like condense such complex scientific kind of steps and knowledge into very simplistic kind of like Minecraft-esque achievement systems, right? And I really like it. I think it's very cool. And honestly, the most interesting aspect of Dr. Stone is that it's based on science, and that it's something that will probably get kids interested in science if they read it, right? So I like it a lot. But the final thing in terms of world building to be added is the Y-Man. Again, I don't really want to say too much about them, but it's very, very interesting. So yeah, in terms of art here, of course, Boichi drew this, so it's top tier, it's badass. There's a lot of really awesome scenes and shots and panels, and Boichi really kind of took his time with this one, I guess, because he really snapped on some of these panels. Like, he showed a lot of facial expressions, and when he does that, he zooms in onto the face, and he really kind of just works at making it look so badass and detailed, basically almost photorealistic. And those kind of panels always make me so happy, because it's like Boichi really just stretching his wings and showing off his prowess, right? And it's very, very cool. But yeah, overall, the art was badass. There was a lot of cool action scenes, a lot of interesting kind of like kind of big panels that show off a lot of power from the different characters. So I like that a lot. In terms of fan service, of course, it's Boichi. There's going to be some fan service, but I think this time specifically, there's a lot less fan service than some other times, because Kohaku really isn't able to kind of show off her athleticism, and so there's not a lot of opportunities for Boichi to have those kind of like very interesting kind of upskirt shots of her like jumping and stuff like that. There's quite a few new female characters though, so it does take the time to kind of show off their kind of figure. But of course, he does the same thing with a lot of male characters, so it's really not kind of like I don't know. There's fan service for everyone if you're interested. So yeah, I don't know. I think the fan service is good. Boichi draws really well, and I don't really have anything against it, because it doesn't really detract from the story, and it's not really so up in your face that it kind of is annoying. So I think it's good. In terms of rating, it's a 5 out of 5. It's amazing. It's my favorite part of Dr. Stone so far, and I'm really excited to get into the next one, but I don't know how I'm gonna do that one, because that one kind of has a lot more chapters than these, and it's also like the second to last saga as far as I'm aware. Like, this next one that's coming up is quite longer. It's up into the 200s, which would be about 80 chapters, so that's a lot of chapters, and it's near the end of the story as far as I can tell. That's what everyone's been saying, that Dr. Stone is about to finish really soon. So I don't know how I'm gonna wait till the story finishes and then kind of do everything together, or if I'm gonna just jump into Dr. Stone here soon. So I don't know. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I really don't have anything else to say, so That's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And yeah, thank you guys once again. See you guys later.